Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast, your one-stop shop for television, movie, video games, comic books, book reviews, and more. Now, without further ado, here's Steven and Mike.
Hello there. First, you talk first. I talk first.
I will talk first. I'm so excited. Welcome, everybody, to this special edition of the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only, the man himself, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good evening to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land.
Okay, everybody, we could not wait. We could not wait. As you can tell by the title of this, we are going to be talking about Star Wars. But we're talking about
Star Wars, nothing but
Star Wars. Yep. So we are talking about Andor. We are talking about the new Disney Plus show, Andor, just to be clear. And they dropped episodes 1, 2, and 3. And we are here.
All because Steven demanded it.
That's right. And let me tell you, I'm going to hold on just for a second. Everybody, we watched these. I watched them last night. I'll get into more of that later. But we almost started talking about it because we couldn't wait to do though. And we said, no, wait, save it. Save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast. Which we have those t-shirts available on our merch page.
I was going to say, just like the t-shirt says. Oh, you get a t-shirt, you can get a mug, you can get stickers, all kinds of stuff.
Right. So, hey, everybody, I do want to direct you to our website, which is twogeeksmike.com, twogeeksmike.com, the number 2, GEEKSMIC.com. Why? Because that is our hub for all things in the geekdom. So there you will see our website with some blog posts, with some links talking about some stuff. You will see also our link to the merch page where we've got some fun t-shirts like Save It for the Podcast and more coming. We also have connections to our Ko-fi page, and our Ko-fi page, or some say coffee, but ko-fi.com. It's kind of like Patreon, but what's nice about it is they don't rip you off as much as Patreon does. And definitely not as much as Twitch rips you off, as we have just found out in the last couple of days. So just saying, everybody. So if you are on the Twitch, watching us on the Twitch platform, you know exactly what I am talking about. So with that said, we got some special promos going on for on our Ko-fi page, supporting us to do shows like this, to stream our shows. And so we're doing that. Mike is going to be doing what if we get 50 new subscribers, or really if we meet our goal. We have a goal of $500 to pay for our restream service for the next year. And Mike is going to do what now?
I will color the goatee portion of my beard orange for Halloween.
And we have yet had anyone suggest what Steven should do. So we thought that we'd make that a little bit more fun. So
I was going to say shave your head, but it wouldn't be.
Well, if everybody notices, tonight I am not wearing my ball cap.
Yeah,
and if you notice, my hair is thinning quite a bit. But I will tell you, in the last 24 hours, it's thinned a whole lot more after watching Andor. Wow. So, all right. With that said, Mike, any other announcements that we need to make or anything?
Just join us Saturday morning. We will be discussing season 5 of Cobra Kai. Our friend John Keller is going to join us, which
that's great.
That should be a fun conversation.
It would be fantastic. I love me some John Keller.
We just confirmed with Mark of 3 Geeky Dads that he is going to join us on October 8th. I think it's the 8th. for Werewolf by Night discussion.
That is gonna be great. I'm so glad, Mark.
Can't wait.
Mark is joining us, you guys. And if you have not heard the Three Geeky Dads, you need to listen to them. And every single one of them, plus Tito, the three dads plus Tito, are fabulous dudes. I'm just saying. And Mark is the one who does his own Werewolf with a Chainsaw comic book. And it is great. And so I just want to say, with him joining us for Werewolf by Night, that is going to be a hysterical show. It's going to be fabulous.
I figured he'd be a perfect guest considering, one, he's a horror fanatic, and two, he's a werewolf fanatic. Obviously, his comic book is Werewolf with a Chainsaw. So when I saw that Disney was going to be dropping Werewolf by Night in October 7th, I'm like, I'm messaging Mark, hey, you want to join us on the 8th for discussion on Werewolf by Night? And he's like, yeah. So yeah, we got him.
Yeah. I am pumped. I am excited. All right. Well, just so we address stuff in the chats, Brenda, thanks for joining us. Love to have you with us. She said no skipping. I'll get into that.
That would be the Steven skip, as we call it.
That would be the Steven skip, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So, but I feel like I need to put a hood on because, man, my forehead is bright. My balding head is bright in these lights.
Although I think he was referring to Cobra Kai, though. I think.
We'll get into that Saturday, everybody. Saturday morning. Watch our show, 9 a.m. Central Time.
Save it for that podcast.
Yes, we're going to save it for that podcast, by golly. That's funny. All right, Mike. So do we want to do our review, like our score, and then like a quick mini review, and then do our score and
I don't know if we want to do our score up front. I'm not sure I want to do it up front. I know we normally do. I think we're saving the score for the end on this one.
We are saving the score for the end.
Although we do need to pick our scale, what our scale will be. How about what was the name of the new droid in the show? B.
Let's call him B. I liked him. He reminded me of the robots in the old Disney show, the old Disney movie Black Hole.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew exactly what you
really.
Yeah.
Bob was his name.
This is B2 Emo or something like that. I don't know, something like that. I was slightly disappointed with his voice, though. I don't know. There was something about his voice that I was like, it's kind of off. But
they needed Mark Thompson to do the voice of that.
That would have been incredible. That would have been awesome. But what was it?
You were right with the name.
Was I really?
Yeah.
I completely guessed that. B2 Emo.
I just knew that she called him B.
Yeah, I know.
She called him B. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's no different than R2 or 3PO, and they tend
you have to give them credit. Star Wars does do a nice job of creating great sidekick droids that you enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, I've always enjoyed R2D2 and C3PO, of course. I loved K2SO from Rogue One. Was not in this episode, by the way. Any one of these 3 episodes, by the way.
Right.
It's gonna start now.
Right.
You and I were already arguing over whether K2SO was going to make an appearance, and I kept saying, I don't he's going to make an appearance in the first season. It'll be in the second season. So yeah. I love K2SO. I even like BB-8. BB-8 was a fun little site, although he kind of stole 3PO and R2's thunder throughout the sequel trilogy, but hey, whatever. Right.
Angie says it reminded me of HK from KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. So I don't know.
I've never read Knights of the Old Republic. Angie's got one up on me here.
Or the game. It could be from the game.
Oh, know, I'll tell you a droid I liked. Remember the game Sam Witwer does.
Star Wars Force Unleashed.
Yes, the Force Unleashed. I love the droid in Force Unleashed.
Mhm.
The one who replicates other Jedi and Sith and all this stuff, and then he defeats him, and every time the droid says, "Well, maybe I'll kill you tomorrow."
Right. Right.
Proxy, yes, Proxy's amazing. I love that droid.
Yeah.
Proxy needs to come into somewhere
Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh my gosh, I would love it.
That would be cool. All right. So here we go, everybody. We talked, it's nice to have droids. B's a great little droid. It was fun. And all.
There were lots of things I enjoyed in this new series. Ships were pretty neat. I like.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Star Wars always has to have good ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we discussed the droid. The droid was pretty cool. I liked him. There's some decent aliens in this too. That's something that the new Star Wars, at least movies, tends to fall apart on as aliens, in my opinion.
Right.
I felt these were a little more Star Wars-y.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know, they fit in the universe a little bit better than the things we've seen on the big screen. So those are some real positives. There's some new characters that I like too.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be. I don't know any of the names yet. I'm really, really bad with the names so far. So
that's okay. I'm still learning too.
But yeah, there was plenty of good things about this. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, so let's continue on with some of the good things. What else did you think were good things in the show?
We got some good world development. We saw lots of different worlds.
Yeah.
New introductions that we've never heard of. Yeah, I'll get to that, Brenda. My wife said she don't like the cocky rent-a-cop. Believe me, I got plenty of things to say about him. But yeah, overall, I think there were a lot of good things, a lot of positive things. I think we're heading into a really good series, but we got off to a slow start, in my opinion. This was a very slow burn, this first 3 episodes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
so how many Steven skips did we have?
Steven did not skip episode 1. Steven did not skip episode 2. At that point, Steven was frustrated and started skipping every 10 seconds for episode 3.
Hey, Sage Page.
Sage Page Omega is here, everybody. Woohoo! Dude, aren't you supposed to be working or getting ready to go to work?
Oh, yeah, really? You started skipping in episode 3. Personally, if I was you, I would have been skipping in 1 and 2. 3,
in all fairness,
where it started to get good.
Well, I kept skipping until we got to the scene that we saw in the preview on the Disney Day preview. And then I was like, oh, I already saw this. So I kept skipping through it. And then
but it's a good scene and you didn't. Anyway.
I still skipped because I already saw it. And I was like, I just want to go through this and all that. So Sage Page says, I work weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Weekdays off for my daughter. Awesome. Well, thank you. Go, Dad. That's cool. So I Steven skipped until the very end of the 3rd episode so I could see at least some action. In all fairness, that killed me. You took till the 3rd episode to get to any kind of action, which was really the scene. The first action scene was what we saw in the Disney Day preview, which was great. I'm glad they did that. But it's drawn out too long. And maybe I'm old school on this. Maybe I'm just, but I'm used to getting, I don't care if you're 10 episodes. Okay. I don't care, if it's 10 episodes, but I'm so used to growing up, even the old serials where you had a story that was encapsulated in each episode some kind of good story, a beginning, the building up, a climax, and then an end. And then when they started introducing these overarching stories with to a little bit here and a little bit there. I remember the first time I ever experienced it was in A-Team. Dun 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 dun. That's
Oh,
enough.
we've just been banned in 72 countries.
We probably have been, by golly. Wouldn't that be funny? They're muting us for the next minute and a half.
Or yeah, muting. Not banned, but muting.
Not banned, but muted, right?
Well, I didn't say The Rock, so I just
Oh, that did it now. So okay, so the whole overarching storyline, you still had your compartmentalized episodes, but they would tweak in here, and then your season, maybe your mid-season or in-season finale, if it was 24 episodes, the last two would really kind of bring that story to a close. Or Star Trek Next Generation with Locutus, the whole Borg story was when they broke for the summer. They left you with a cliffhanger for the whole summer, and that's where that began. So I'm used to that. I do not want whatever. These are like half an hour episodes. So an hour and a half. I watched a movie that really only set up maybe the first 10, 15 minutes of any other movie that you would have watched. It was dragged out so much, so long that I was like, come on. Now, I tell you, seeing the worlds, I totally agree with you. They were gorgeous. They're great. I mean, they looked good. The worlds that they created were really good. So my dogs are barking, everybody. Sorry if you hear all that. Someone's coming home.
and about the worlds, Rogue One was written by the same person that wrote this, wrote Rogue One also, which you can tell.
Yeah, that was Tony Gilroy.
Yeah, Tony Gilroy. Because if you watch Rogue One, they actually tell every time you go to a different planet, it actually it says on screen what planet you're in. And he did the same thing for this. I like that. I like that a lot. Like when the other Star Wars movies, the other new Disney Star Wars movies, well, even the classic movies, they didn't do that so much. Of course, they were pretty good about telling you where you were at. Oh, we're heading to Tatooine, or we're heading to Endor, or blah blah blah. But in these newer movies, they don't even tell you what planet they're going. They just go there. And I like that he actually puts on screen what planet you're going to. Because as a Star Wars nerd, I like to learn those things.
Yeah, I actually enjoy that in this one. When it first starts off, and we're on this planet, and it's kind of this, the outer skirts of this the outer skirts of this. What's the word? This corporation planet or something.
Yes. So, yeah. Let's talk about the corporations. So obviously the Empire does not have quite the hold on the full galaxy at this point. Which, by the way, we should state that this is 5 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Yavin? Okay. I thought so. I thought it said that.
Yeah, it said 5 BBY, which in expanded universe terms, because that's where that originated from, that's 5 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Okay.
Which I love that they used that, by the way. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was very cool. Nice callback to the expanded universe, and I'm a big fan of the expanded universe. So
yes.
But I forgot where I was going with that.
You liked where when we're talking about the corporation, the Empire doesn't have a hold.
Right. So it's pretty obvious the Empire doesn't quite have the hold on the galaxy, because we have like hired security here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, they just kind of reminded me of mall cops,
Right. Paul Blart in action.
Yeah, I was expecting somebody to be on their little scooter thing,
Right.
And the uniforms kind of reminded me of the Bespin guards, You know,
Oh,
Lando's guard.
interesting.
They
Interesting.
had a similar
Yeah.
hat to what the Bespin guards wear. It was
Uh-huh.
blue uniform, very cut, looked very similar to the Besbin uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Besbin officers are better.
Right.
Just my opinion.
I'll go with that. I'll go with that. That's pretty funny. So, how do we want to do this? So, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm pausing because I'm like, oh, where do I begin? I enjoyed some aspects of it.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, let me
but
hear what you liked. I told some of the things I liked, so
okay,
let
I
me hear
agree with you.
your
Agree with-
positives.
yeah, on the worlds, creating the worlds. I thought they did fabulous. The world building, the visual world building was
Yes.
spectacular.
Yes, agreed.
Having the city flying over the ships, seeing them in, looking down there, if you can't find it there, you can't find it anywhere. If it's not worth finding or something like that. Like, oh, that's a fun line, when they were flying in the ship and looking over where we see the buyer coming in before we know who he is really. But the junkyard feel I did enjoy. That took me back really to episode 1, where Anakin Skywalker and trying to put pieces of junk together or pieces together, and then creating his pod racer. It was that kind of a feel. I enjoyed that. I thought that was okay, cool.
That made me think of Starkiller and Proxy, honestly.
Oh, did it?
I was like, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Starkiller's on a trash planet for a good portion of Force Unleashed, so I figured if
that's true
Proxy
too.
would show up anywhere, that's where he'd be.
Right. I enjoyed kind of some of the world building of here's the culture kind of a thing. Here's people just trying to make it.
Well, that's good.
Kind of a thing. I thought that was cool. The ships, I agree with you, were really neat. I was like, all right, we got some new ships and they're cool. They make sense. Except one. There's one ship that didn't make sense, and that was the ship that was our lead rent-a-cop, that was filling in and had some kind of weird complex of trying to become a leader, and that's a whole nother subject to what I don't like. But
I got a few things to say about him.
Okay. So I enjoyed all the ships except for the one that they had, where he had his 12 his 12 men or 24 men or whatever, and it was like a Borg box ship going through hyperspace or something. I'm like, how is that aerodynamic? Kind of a thing or something. It's like, that's probably the most un-Star Wars box ship I've ever seen.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Kind of a thing.
I'll give you that.
But I enjoyed all the other ones. I liked them, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what else we get. I mean, I've seen the trailers, and I know we're going to get to see some more highfalutin Senate style stuff or whatever.
But yeah, we're going to get Mon Mothma. She's coming. Bail is coming. I heard a rumor today. I don't know if this is true because this is the first time I've heard this, but supposedly we're going to get a young Princess Leia too.
Oh, we're going to see her come back.
Not the girl that we saw in Obi-Wan Kenobi, because obviously by this time, this is only 5 years before Battle of Yavin, so she's got to be 13ish about. So she'd be in between what Princess Leia would have been in the original Star Wars and
just before she's
Obi-Wan.
Oh, it'd be 5. She'd be 11. Because wasn't she like 16 when they got the plans?
She's supposed to be about 18. So
okay.
Right. A lot of books, they'll say 18 to 20 is what they'll say, that Luke and Leia are 18 to 20 years old.
Right.
Somewhere in between those two ages.
Right. Interesting. So let me address something real quick. Sage Page, I'm glad you're here, man. Hey, we sent you an email, by the way.
Yeah, Sage, your email.
He says the whole feel for me was this had all the best parts of Knights of the Old Republic vibe. I agree with you and I disagree with you. I agree that yes, it does have that vibe. What it's missing is all the mystical nature that you would get with Knights of the Old Republic. I didn't get any kind of it felt more I get maybe the kind of feel they're going for it is the old the streets, the underground, the underground of of the Star Wars world. But there was nothing mystical. One of the cool things about Star Wars is the mystical nature of the Force or whatever. So what this relegated to me in the first 3 episodes was just cyberpunk style kind of a thing.
I don't know if I go with cyberpunk. Cyberpunk almost that was more of what we felt in Boba Fett than this.
Yeah.
I would say this.
Oh, Sage Space said it well. The grit and the darker grime. Okay.
Oh yeah,
I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Yeah, I like that.
Which
Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
we should have grime, and it should be gritty in this portion of Star Wars. I totally agree with that idea. I kind of wonder if some of this was born out of the game that got canceled because
Oh,
George Lucas
right.
was working on a game. Well, he had ILM working on a game called
Right.
13, and it was like the underbelly of Coruscant.
Mhm.
You would see the crime life on Coruscant. And I'm kind of wondering if that's kind of some of that idea flowing into this a little bit, maybe,
Okay. Okay.
which is cool. That's very cool. I like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. I'm
You know,
open to be proven wrong or, make me rethink my position on things. I could, all
well, I'm
right.
just saying that's what I wonder if some of this came from. Some of the ideas flowed out of that. That's all.
Right.
Because
Interesting.
it,
Yeah.
it was something they scrapped, and they tend to borrow from other things, and so
Yeah. Sage Page says, here, I'll put this on the screen. Personally, I wish Boba Fett was done more like this. I feel the darker aspect would suit that show more. Oh.
I agree and disagree.
Okay. All right.
I agree that Boba Fett could have used some darker, grittier tones because it is Boba Fett.
Agreed.
And he didn't live up to the legend in all of our minds. Let's put it that way.
In the Boba Fett series?
Yeah. Because he didn't feel like the Boba Fett of Return of the Jedi, honestly.
Fair enough.
But on the other hand, there were some points of that I liked what we got. So yes and no on that.
I got it. I hear that.
Oh, Mark popped in.
Yeah, real quick shout out, Mark. You should listen to the beginning of the show. We talked about you. So, Mark, this is the Mark, everybody, that we talked about. Mark.
Oh, Brian's in here too.
Holy moly.
Pretty
Two of the 3 geeky dads plus Tito are here.
Well, minus
Mark says, sorry I'm late to the party. Just wanted to say I'm looking forward to your thoughts on the new Star Wars shows when they come out. Well, Mark, 3 of them dropped. And that's all I got to say about that. No, I'm just kidding. All right. That's all we're talking about is this one.
Oh my God.
Oh, Brian's saying, hi guys, I'm watching it right now. So good. Oh, you need to turn off this episode right now, Brian. You need to finish watching
and then come back and watch us.
Come back to the show.
We're about to
we may have to do a double up with the 3 geeky dads and Tito, all of us together, to talk about all this.
Now at the end of the season, we're going to bring in another podcaster, Chris Mott, who we've had on before. Chris is the director for Force Among Us, and I always forget the names of his. Anyway,
right.
They're available on Amazon. Look them up.
He made Chris Mott made 2 documentaries on the Force, on Star Wars,
right?
The Force Among Us, and
where he traveled to Tunisia, and it was
Yeah,
really
it was. They're pretty good. Yeah, he did another reality show on Star
and he
Wars
has
thing.
his YouTube show, Mocktails from the Cantina.
Yeah.
But Chris is a huge Rogue One fan. In fact, Chris always says that Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie.
Right.
He's wrong
Could-
about that, but that's okay.
Okay. Could you imagine the hijinks if we had Chris Mott on, the three geeky dads and Tito all with us?
I
and
don't
all
think
of
we
it.
could get in a word.
We would be laughing so much. Oh my goodness, it would be crazy. It would be great. It would be great. But anyway, so
we'll have Chris Mott at the end of the season.
yeah, Brian, we don't want to spoil anything for you, brother. We appreciate you, and we don't want to sway you in any way. If you like it, by golly, you enjoy it.
Well,
Mark said that would be anarchy. You're so right. It would be
I'm not
anarchy.
saying that I don't like it. I'm just saying it's a very slow burn. That's all.
Yeah, I'm glad that Disney listened to me and dropped 3 episodes at once, because I'm not saying they really listen to me, everybody.
would have skipped the first 2 episodes.
Right? You could have done the first 2 episodes in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Honestly, you could have. We could have got Andor's childhood story a lot faster than what we got. And okay,
Right.
I'm not one to complain about Star Wars unless it's the sequel trilogy.
Right.
I mean, I try to keep a very positive attitude about Star Wars. I try to find something I enjoy in all Star Wars. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love that attitude.
Even the sequels. Even the sequels. Anyway, it's just these first 2 episodes were they were long. And the sad thing is they weren't that long.
Right.
It felt long. It felt very long. So that I think they could have done more in these first 2 episodes than what we got. And
well, I have my opinion on that here. Let me talk about what Brian just stated here, because I agree with him. Just got to say, I got major Wall-E vibes when B2 Emo was rolling through all the trash and into the shop Cassian was sleeping in. I thought the same thing. I totally forgot about it till you just mentioned that.
Although I think what you said earlier, Stephen, fit him too, where you compared him to the droid from Disney's Black Hole.
Bob from the Black Hole. You're right.
Bob.
Yep. Oh yeah, that was good. Not Maximilian robot and all. Just for the record, everybody, if you have not seen the Black Hole, I thought it was a kid's movie until what's his name? All of a sudden, Maximilian's got his little claw out, going, and then the actor sitting there with his papers in front of him to defend himself from Maximilian, and he drills through the papers. And you don't see it, but the next thing you see, it goes, like he's killing him and stuff. I'm still traumatized for that, and that was 40 years ago. Just saying.
Mark just said, "Oh shoot, where'd it go?" I lost it. Fun fact: Brian gets Wall-E vibes a lot. It's a little creepy. I love it.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
that was a good comment too. Sage Page Omega. Yes, only robot that matters. Johnny 5, number 5.
Short Circuit. Yeah, nicely
Johnny
done.
5 is alive. I like Johnny 5. I remember that one. That was good.
I remember that. Well done. Woo! We are all dating ourselves, everybody. This is great.
Well, and I think Sage is a lot younger than us too, but
I think so too. Yes.
So
he's an incredible gamer too, by the way. I could only dream of being as good as he is watching him play.
So should we get into some aspects that we did not like?
Well, we've been doing that already. So go ahead, my friend. We're 35 minutes into the podcast. I think we can start griping a little bit even more now.
Okay. Yeah, let's go into security, mall cops, in particular, the guy in charge. Man, I couldn't stand
Mhm.
that guy. Oh, he's annoying.
Well, I don't think we were meant to. And
Yeah,
plus,
yeah, I agree with you. We're meant to, but I don't know. He just gives me that middle
it was
manager. I'm going to suck up to the upper management, and then
right.
try try and look relevant to the workers. And
Yeah.
he just made me ill. Which, yeah, I guess he's supposed to do that. So
I mean, I get it. You want a good villain, but he's not a villain that you root for to be bad.
yeah, I
You
agree with
know,
what Brenda just said.
smug son of a gun.
Yeah, although I would have used a different word probably, but maybe not.
Welcome everybody, where we're not trying to use colorful metaphors for this particular podcast.
I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all.
Well,
And I don't think he's a great bad guy, like you said.
yeah,
I
he's
hope
not.
I hope there's a bigger baddie on the way.
Oh, I'm sure there
Something
is.
way more interesting than him, because he's not interesting at all. You know,
Mhm.
when a company comes in and they start changing management, middle management's always the first to go. So I say that the umpire just comes in and you're fired.
Right. You're fired. Yeah, I would say yeah, and that's some of it. I mean, they kind of set some of that up with the Empire, and they're just like, let's not get, with the one guy who was in charge, who was going on a trip or whatever, vacation or whatever, and this guy, our real weird villain here was taking over or whatever. And I loved how all the 12 men that were there for the third episode are like, okay, we're going to go in and get this guy, the sergeant or whatever, and then
Now
says,
the
okay,
sergeant-
it's all yours, sir. And he gets up there and says, okay, let's go. Rah, rah.
You're right.
Justice.
Now the sergeant, I kind of liked him. I
did.
find him.
I thought he made a better bad guy.
Honestly, I kind of thought he was going to turn out to be a double agent. I thought he was going to double cross smuggy little
Smug boy.
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't know if we were meant to like him or not, or meant to hate him or whatever. I don't know. It was just dragging out the story. I'm like, oh, we're still doing this? Third episode, we're still doing this. So
Yeah, so that was one of the things I really didn't like. I didn't like the slow pace of the show. With Andor, I was expecting things to be a lot more fast paced.
right.
And it just was not it. At least these first 3 episodes.
The first 3 episodes were not. That's why there was no way they could not drop these first 3. Let me rephrase that. If you dropped one, people would have been like, skip. You drop 2, skip.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that's why they decided
They watched it.
Because maybe they were afraid people would do that and say, I'm not going to watch this. It's just not
right.
I
think it's going to be one of those things that, looking back on, I can appreciate the world building that he's doing. But as far as the pace, it's just, how shall I put this? This goes back to my whole thing about where I mentioned earlier, give me a good story, but don't drag it out. Like this whole beginning could have been a super exciting opening 20 minutes. But the first laser fire that we get out of this beginning was him killing somebody, which made me mad. It took me right back to Rogue One.
That's remnants of Rogue One. Okay.
I know.
And
what does George Lucas say?
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Right.
But you got to remember, he did state in Rogue One, I've done things that I'm not proud of. And
right.
They're going to show us some of those things. So I was not at all taken aback, because I figured this was coming. I figured we were going to get moments like that. And they're alluding that he's part of a darker part of the rebellion. Okay.
Mhm.
That these are guys who are willing to get their hands dirty and do
What
ugly
needs to be
stuff.
done.
Right. This is not this. He is not Luke Skywalker.
The ends justify the
And
means.
just by me.
This
Yeah.
is gonna be that kind of story is what I hear
Right.
you saying.
Right. Yes. Exactly. I'm not saying what he's doing is right. I'm just saying this is the kind of character they've already established. So that's what we're gonna get out of these next episodes. He's
I want my good guys to be good and my bad guys to be bad.
it's not always that black and white though. It's not always that simple. Sometimes they're
Right.
gray, you know.
Right.
Uh,
All right. Yes.
e- e-
Okay.
Even countries do things that they're not proud of, our
Listen,
country's done things it's not proud of, so
I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying the reason I want to escape because I don't want a reminder of this world. I want,
no, I'm not saying
I'm a nerd.
I'm not saying no, I get it. I get it. But I'm just saying they've already established who he is in Rogue One and
Mhm.
before Rogue One. So you're going to see more of that.
Uh-huh.
That's just something you're going to have to get used to for this series. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Here's what Sage Page says. Excuse me. The whole flashback story to Cassian in my mind was too drawn out and just honestly bored me.
I agree, actually.
In my mind, it was just too exposition heavy. Ooh, maybe that's my problem. You're telling me rather than showing me. That's a big writing law? Show me, don't tell me, kind of a thing.
Show me, don't tell me. By the way, my wife said I'm.
Hey, wait a minute. I like this. We need to frame this. Somebody take a picture of this really quick off our screen. I gotta agree with Steve. Right on. Mark, I knew I liked you for some reason.
Don't get used to that, dude.
Right. Right.
That's funny. That is funny.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, so I didn't like where Cassian shot that guy point blank again.
I knew when he shot him that was going to be your reaction. I knew.
Right. I figured you would. I was like,
yeah, Steven already doesn't like this.
Right. Yeah.
No,
I thought it was great, the whole thing where he hit that guy and accidentally killed him. I thought, I thought that was.
And the other guy's trying to make up stories for him, and then he's
we'll go in together. I'm like, you liar! You once you get him in, yeah.
And then
I think that's the whole issue that Cassian knew that too.
Oh yeah,
this guy's trying to pull one over on me.
And actually, I don't fault him for that kill. I don't fault him one bit.
Right.
Mention they were scum anyways. So.
They were jerks. Yeah,
they were jerks. They're just fodder anyhow. So
right.
Now I will agree with you on Rogue One. When he kills the guy in Rogue One, I was like, oh, that's dark. And I had a tough time with that. But now that I know who he is, it's like, that's just who he is,
Yeah.
Hey, how many people have Liam Neeson killed in all his movies?
Hey, that's because he had a particular set of skills.
In every single movie.
Right. I just watched his other one a couple of weeks ago, the Black, what was it? It was the one where same kind of story.
It was the same movie that he's been doing for the last.
It's the same one, right? Yeah.
Ever since he left Star Wars, he's done the same movie. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Liam Neeson and I love his movies, but let's face the facts. Every one of them's the same. They are all the exact.
Right.
The only thing different is his name changes. That's it.
Right. He has that same accent. Oh gosh. Yes, Mark. Mark, thank you, Mark. Thank you. I can sleep well tonight because somebody agrees with me. Miss the old school heroes and villains in shows and movies. Yes. This takes us. This
Oh,
is the whole I want my good bad guys to be good and my bad guys to be bad. This whole thing that it's Disney who's been doing it of blurring the lines. I mean, come on, we got Maleficent, we got the Dalmatian Deville, Cruella Deville,
oh
and
man,
all these others.
go off on you. Can't do that.
I'm
Megan,
not saying they're not bad stories, and I do find them interesting, but at some point, this whole thing about having some of these characters who are, and maybe that's what they want, for Cassian, but it just doesn't, it's hard for me to root for him. I get the position that you're in unless you overcome it and stuff. The boyfriend turned him in.
Yeah, at first I was like, "What is she talking about there?" But yeah, then I remembered the girl, the mechanic, whoever she is, that Cassian was kind of colluding with, and she
Right.
was telling her boyfriend what they were doing and everything,
Uh-huh.
and then he gets jealous of Cassian and turns him in. He was kind of a creep.
Well, in all fairness, she was keeping secrets from him.
I know that, but he was still a jerk anyway. I wasn't sad when he died either.
Yeah. Oh, my head's getting bigger, everybody. Sage Page even says they're only evil or bad, but for good reasons. Yeah, I'm over that. I want the bad to be bad, not bad for greater causes.
Oh,
I
guys,
love it.
you guys are just making his head get bigger. Pretty soon it won't fit on the screen.
Well, that's why my hair keeps falling out because
is that
my
what
head's getting bigger.
You're going to look like a Luger pretty soon.
Right, right. Oh, here we go. Mark has a good insight. Of course, Mickey is pretty evil. He always psychologically tortured Donald Duck. Think about it.
I guess. Sure. Okay.
You know what? We can make a good podcast out of that one.
You know what? Mickey is actually the emperor, so yeah, he's evil. He's in control of the entire universe, just like the emperor. Disney owns everything, dude.
Oh gosh,
That's funny. Mickey is actually the emperor, but
that's funny.
Yeah.
All right, so what did you think about the? I was just thinking of things I like still because I keep going off on things I don't like.
Sure.
So let me get back to things I like. What did you think about the shootout in the third episode? Right at the end of the third episode.
Well, the third episode is where it got good,
Right.
And I liked Skarsgård. I can't think of what his name. What was that, Megan?
Stellan.
Stellan.
Well, that's his real name, right?
Oh.
Yes, Stellan Skarsgård.
I was trying to think of his character's name, but I don't know. I like him, and I think he is going to make a good addition to the show.
Oh yeah,
that he was a big positive in this.
Yes,
I also think that he's kind of a double agent too, because I think there's points where we're going to see in the future where he actually is some kind of Imperial too, but he's actually working against the Empire. What was that, Megan? Luthen. Yes, exactly.
Luthen is his name.
Yes. So yeah, I like that. Actually, the security guards weren't half bad shot either. Maybe they should be stormtroopers instead.
It's all in the visor. The visor throws off their aim by 0.4.
Well, that could be true. That because I've heard the guys, that play the stormtroopers, they're like, you can't see anything in these darn things.
All right, so let's talk about characters for a minute, shall we?
Sure.
I agree with you that Luthen, I wanted to say Luther, but Luthen, I think he is going to be the redeeming character of this show. And what I mean by that is not that his character arc is redeeming. I mean that he's actually going to be one of the good actors that makes you want to watch the show.
Oh, I agree. I think he's going to be good. I think the girl's going to be good. I like her. And Cassie and I enjoy him, And then we already talked about the fact that we got Mon Mothma coming in. We've got Bail Organa coming in. Rumors of Princess Leia, but I don't know how much Princess Leia we would get.
Yeah.
Brenda made the comment earlier that it should be Millie Bobby Brown playing the TV.
No.
What?
No.
What? Wow. What are you going to get Millie Bobby Brown?
No, heck no.
Did you like Stranger Things?
Yeah, she's fine in Stranger Things. That's kind of a thing.
Okay, why would you not think she'd be good for Princess Leia? We haven't talked about this, obviously.
Right? I don't know. Just because she's famous, because she did start,
that's not
Stranger Things. No.
Right.
Besides, she's too old. She's too old to play the part now.
Okay, she's no. I'll save that for Saturdays. I was going to say something, but
I'll save it for the podcast.
Save it for the other podcast. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sage Page. Yeah, you got it. Wah wah. Some people don't need to be in some roles.
Oh my
Millie
God.
Bobby Brown does not need to be is Princess.
What is this? What is this? Team up against Mike Knight or something?
No, because here comes your wife. Here comes your wife to save you. She says, "Let's use to." She looks much like her. So I'm just saying.
I think she does, and I think she's a good actress. I like her.
Crap. No.
That Coke went down the wrong way. Oh gosh. I'm over here dying and you're laughing at me.
I'm not laughing at you're coughing. I'm just laughing at,
That's
oh gosh. So anyway, if we do get a Princess Leia, it's kind of like what was it in the She-Hulk show? She was just like, we're just throwing in cameos to get people to watch or something, kind of a thing. That was a joke.
I think it makes sense to bring in young Princess Leia because
in all fairness, it would.
You're talking about the beginning of the rebellion, and she was part of that.
She was.
So I think you have to actually have her at some point. And if you're going to have Mon Mothma and Bail Organa, who's her adopted father,
right?
Kind of got to have her.
Are they getting Jimmy Smits for that and de-aging him or something?
Yeah, he's coming in. He's coming back again.
Huh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
I mean, they had him in Obi-Wan.
You mean the Princess Leia show? I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing everybody. No, okay. I'm kidding.
All right.
I enjoyed Obi-Wan.
I'll admit, I loved the little girl that played Princess Leia. She
did great.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, she is just the embodiment of the spirit of Carrie Fisher.
Of how she played that character. Absolutely.
But I will admit there was probably a little more of her than should have been in that show. And honestly, I think if they do bring Leia into this, I think it should be minimal. I don't think she should come in and take over the show. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
Just like I don't think Bail Organa should come in and take over. I wouldn't want that either. I just want him as a supporting character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's cool that he's going to come back,
Right.
I don't want him to come in and be the star of the show or anything. No, it's Cassian. It's his show. His name's on the show. So
right.
Andor. Honestly, I think the main stars are going to be Cassian, Luthen, and the girl. I think they're going to be the main stars of the season.
Let me ask you this about. Let me get back to.
I'll tell you who it won't be though. You know who it won't be? It won't be K2SO.
Well played, Mike. Well played. That's good. Let me ask you this about characters and stuff. I struggle to make connections with any character for 3 episodes. Like when the boyfriend got shot and killed, and she was all upset. I was like, why? I mean,
because he's a jerk.
Yeah, but it's not like she kept blowing him off or whatever. You didn't see any kind of real connection between her and him at all. I didn't feel any kind of connection for them. So I was like, why are you so upset all of a sudden? You haven't shown any kind of this emotion towards him at all.
Yeah, well, Luke is all upset that Obi-Wan gets killed, and Princess Leia just watched her entire planet be obliterated, and she's over there consoling Luke, who lost his mentor of what, 2 hours?
Listen, that was 1977. This is 2022.
I don't care. I don't care. You got more out of her and him than you did Luke and Ben. I'm
They
just
had more.
saying.
They had more screen time because it was dragged out a lot longer.
Well, true. No, young Cassian and his sister had more screen time.
Yeah. Okay, Brenda,
Oh,
that's a great point.
Yeah.
Let me post this out.
I liked. I did like Cassian's quote unquote adopted mom.
Adoptive mom. Mm-hmm.
Although you really call her adopted because she kind of kidnapped him.
Right, but here's the dealioso on that.
That was kind of.
But she knew that he was going to get killed, and she felt sorry for him, and that's why she did. Because wasn't there a phrase or something where they said they like blew up the whole planet or destroyed the whole planet?
I don't know if they destroyed it.
I'll have to go back and look because I was curious about that. Because if they destroy the planet and he's like the last or something, I don't know.
It's not like the Death Star's there.
Right. Oh, that's true. That's true.
I don't think the Empire's technology is ready yet. I mean, obviously it's not ready. Rogue One's when Death Star's ready, so they don't have the ability to blow up a planet yet.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. There was something said about the ship crashing, and then
the ship crashed. We saw that, but that's not to blow up the planet.
Well, I didn't say they blew up the planet, but they had to do some kind of scorched earth or something or another.
Well, yeah, we had that area where they said that humans couldn't go because there was some kind of accident or something. There was some kind of industrial type accident or something similar to that. But I think that was an Imperial cover up. I'll bet you anything they were mining, and like the Imperial tends to go in. The Empire tends to go into these planets and they strip them of their resources and then just leave them, And I kind of think that's what they were doing there. But then to cover it up, they said there was some kind of big industrial accident or something.
Right.
Something like that,
Well, yes. And here we go. Once again, Brenda, very nice, very nice. She took him because they were coming and they would have killed him if they found him in the ship. So she saved his life by kidnapping him. Yes.
By kidnapping him.
Listen, the ends justify the means in this show. I'm just saying.
Is that what it is? She's still kidnapping. She kidnapped the poor kid.
Right.
And that's probably why he turned out who he is.
Maybe. Maybe, by golly. Maybe. All right.
So it's Marvin's fault that he's the cold-hearted killer that he is.
Right. Now let me ask you this.
My wife said, see, I really did watch.
Yeah.
What were you going to ask?
Well, I was going to ask, is this show worth watching?
Well, yeah, I think it's going to get better. I honestly do.
Okay.
That's what I said in the beginning of this. It was a slow burn, but I want to believe it's going to get better.
Right. It's Star Wars. It's got to get better.
I mean, there's some elements of episodes 1 and 2 that were good information. It was just so slow getting to it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then 3, I thought episode 3 was much better, much more betterer.
Much more betterer, everybody. Cheers. Ding. Mm-hmm.
Got it in. I thought that was much more betterer. So I think it will get better. And like I said, with some of the, as you said, cameos coming up, I think that's going to help enhance it a little bit.
Okay. All right. Woo, there's some comments coming in, everybody. Here we go.
Yeah, Sage.
Uh,
Yeah, that's an interesting comment. If you're a Star Wars fan, yes. If you're new coming into the scene, I would say no, lose interest. I would say don't watch it yet. Definitely go watch Rogue One first, so that way you kind of understand who Cassian is. Um, but I wouldn't say write it off yet, because I really want to have high hopes for this show. When I saw the trailers, okay, when they announced it, I was like, whatever, you know. Do I really need a Cassian Andor
right.
show?
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw some of the trailers, and I thought, wow, this looks really good, really gritty. It looks,
I,
you know,
I thought the preview that they did on Disney Day was good. I was like,
yeah,
oh, okay, this looks good.
right.
Thinking that was kind of the opening sequence or something, but because I was like, oh, surely they're not going to show something later on in the show. This must be the first episode. Surprise! It's from the third episode because nothing really happens in episode 1 and 2.
My wife said I will watch and hope it gets better. If not, I will read my book as Michael watches.
Right? In all openness, I think that's I was really trying to process and think through, why am I so frustrated? I enjoy Star Wars. I enjoyed the world building and stuff. And I think really what it boils down to is I have time structure issues, everybody. I'm just saying. And so I've only got so much time. So if I'm going to sit down and watch something,
Hey, Steven, you have the
what?
same amount of hours that everyone else has. We all have 24 hours in the day.
This is called biting my tongue, everybody. Again, I only have the same 24 hours a day that everybody else does. So, by golly, I don't want to waste my time watching something that's just not gonna, listen, let's put it this way. I would watch out of this first hour, this first 2 episodes, I'd be willing to watch any different Star Wars movie than the first hour of this of what we watched, and felt like my time was not wasted as much.
I have 3 words for you. The Last Jedi.
Guess what? I got 3 words for you. The Last Jedi. It's just slow. There's more action than happened in The Last Jedi that happened in the first hour.
Yeah, I know. What
Hey, everybody. I'm just poking the bear, everybody. That's all I'm doing. I'm having fun.
I'm poking the bear with a hot poker is what I'm doing. I want to see if I can make him turn red.
Well, you can't because I'm so blinded out by my own lights. I'm gonna have to get softer lights for late at night shows.
That's funny. That's funny.
All right, here's Sage Page. My issue is that if I can fast forward the episode and not miss what's going on, then why watch it?
And Sage Page, we call that the Steven.
That's the Steven skip.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Steven.
I need the episode to be mind blowing each moment. So if I skip it, I'm lost in it. Yes. Okay. So what I hear you saying is if you skip 10 seconds and you really haven't missed anything, then what? It's where you're watching it kind of a thing. But if it's really mind blowing and you skip 10 seconds, then you've actually missed a lot. I could get behind
Steven
that.
does that with everything he watches.
Just about. Not quite everything, but just about. Yeah. Listen, I watched a subtitled 3-hour movie. I had to do it in 2 nights, but I watched every single bit of it and never hit the Steven skip because I was engaged in it and it was fun and the story was good. Listen, this hour and a half, I skipped through almost I did a 30-minute episode probably in 5 minutes.
Well, I could have done some of that with this first 2 episodes, so I can't say a lot.
I was really
I just want to
trying
give you
though.
a hard time. Hey, you think I'm giving you a hard time now? Wait till Saturday morning.
Oh,
Tune in
everybody
Saturday morning because we're gonna have some fun with Steven.
we are we are yeah, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to blow it. So everybody tune in live 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We've got a good show. We're going to have a good show.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So with that said, what is your rating, Mike? What's your rating on the first 3 episodes?
I will give. Okay, since we're going all 3 episodes in one, and
Yeah.
I personally think 3 was the best out of the 3.
Okay. All
I
right.
will go ahead and give this a 7 B2 emos.
Emos. B2 emo. Okay.
I give it 7.
Do you know I heard they were going to call it B1 emo, but then they thought, oh no, that's telling people to be an emo, so they went B2 emo. I'm just
That was a
teasing.
horrible dad joke.
Boy, is my face red.
Did your face hurt? It's killing me.
Oh. Wah, 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 wah. Okay. So, okay, I can get behind that. The first 2 episodes were slow. I get that you're trying to do world building, but every Star Wars movie we've seen has had some type of exciting opening. This did not.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with
Even Mandalorian, the first season of Mandalorian, you got the whole Western vibe, exciting, sequence. So I would, I agree. The 3rd episode was the better of the 3.
Wait a minute.
Because
what? It was what?
it was the better. It was the much more betterer of the 3. Cheers, everybody. Ching. I would say, I would give it a 6 out of 10 B2 emos. Yeah, I'd give it a 6. If it was just the 3rd episode, I may give it a 7, but I have to take away because it's just too long to get there. I mean, we should have seen a whole movie, an hour and a half movie with a great opener, build, climax, and a continuation, into the next thing. And we just didn't get that. We really didn't. The fight sequence with the rent-a-cops was not a good climax for a beginning of a story.
Nope.
It just wasn't.
You're right.
So,
You're
but I'm a Star Wars fan. I'll stick with it because I want to see if it gets any better. But I'll be open with you. If it does not get much more better, cheers, everybody, again. I may caution or pause Star Wars shows from here on out. I would question it. Will cause me to question every Star Wars show that we get from here on out, if it's going to be good or not. Usually I'd say, oh, these are going to be great. And
I think
I'd be
that's
surprised
fair because you continue watching Star Wars after The Last Jedi. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is it's happened so many times now that I'm like, well, okay, it's okay. Now Mandalorian should be good. I watch that, kind of a thing, but it still does. I mean, but anything that's new, maybe that's why they got rid of Rangers of the Old Republic or something. Maybe that's why, who knows?
Rangers was a whole different ball game.
Well, that's probably true. Okay. In all fairness,
we're not even gonna get into that, but yeah, that's a whole different ball game.
See, Angie says that's how she felt about Miss Marvel, but I mean, Angie, in all fairness, you were a big fan of Miss Marvel in the first place, so
we're big fans of Star Wars too.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Right.
Here's a question for you, Mike. Expand a Star Wars question: who comes out on top, Boba Fett Prime or the Bendak Star Killer? Bendak, did I say that right?
Boba Fett Prime. Help me with Boba Fett Prime.
The Bendak Star Killer.
And I'm assuming Star Killer, you're meaning Star Killer from Force Unleashed. Ooh. Now, if we're just talking Boba Fett himself. Oh.
Boba Fett in his prime is what he says.
Oh, okay. Boba Fett in his prime. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that is tough. Because Boba Fett in his prime would be a lot better than the Boba Fett we got in the Boba Fett series. 'Cause he obviously was not anywhere near his prime. And again, Starkiller he's an experienced Jedi, total badass too. I mean, but they're both badasses. Ouch! Oh, Sage, you're killing me. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. Ow! And I like both characters, so I would say probably if I have to pick a winner, I'm probably going to go Starkiller.
If
just because of the Force
okay.
aspect. That's the only reason I would go Starkiller.
Do you mean Starkiller? Now, if we go Star Wars Force Unleashed, the first one,
yeah,
are you talking about the good ending or the Sith ending? If you say the Sith ending, I would say absolutely.
Well, I'm just pitting the characters up against each other.
Oh, I know, but see, I would say Boba Fett would be better than the good ending Starkiller, even though he's powerful and stuff. But just but if you do the Sith ending of there's the special Sith edition of Star Wars Force Unleashed and stuff, and I would say that one would be the winner.
You're saying that with Starkiller's turning back to the light side at the end, that version of Starkiller could not defeat Boba Fett. That's what
in his prime. That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, I think I would go with the Sith version of Starkiller, because that's him at his best, in my opinion, as far as the height of his powers.
Yes.
I'm talking about the Starkiller who can literally bring down a whole entire Star Destroyer,
which was a great scene in that game.
Oh my God. If you've never played Force Unleashed, go look up the clip scenes from on YouTube, because they have the clip scene of him down an entire Star Destroyer. It's an amazing scene. I love it.
And I'm glad we got a glimpse of that in Kenobi.
Yeah.
With Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
all right.
But then I also go back to what Stan Lee always said. You never give a definite winner, because then we have conversations like this till the end of time.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I'm glad you brought that up again. Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, everybody, there you have it. There's our review of Andor 1, 2, and 3. We are still going to continue watching it. We're still going to be doing our shows on it and stuff like that. And we appreciate you joining us. I love the interaction tonight. It was great. Thank you, everybody. And if we didn't get to something that you had, I apologize. We probably missed it because it was really scrolling tonight.
There were a couple times I was going to say something, then it kind of went away, and I was like, I missed.
Oh, are you saying he got Boba Fetted?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I hate that term.
We're only poking the air to get ready. No,
he didn't die.
He did not die. He did not die.
We have an entire season to prove that.
That's right.
I did post a great meme of Boba Fett in the Sarlacc pit saying something about how could this day get any worse, and then Luke Skywalker standing off the plank of the Jabba sail barge, taking a leak in the Sarlacc pit. On top of Boba Fett.
I gotta go back and look. Sage Page says these are not the comments you were looking for. Angie, better than Steven Skip.
Nice.
All right. Excuse me. Well, sorry. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us on this special edition of doing the review of Star Wars Andor. So it has been great. I've had a great time tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Mike, is there anything we need to chit chat about? We already did check out our Two Geeks, Mike and Kofi.
Did all our plugs, so I think we've got everything. Just thank you to the few supporters we have on Kofi. We really appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you.
And we just dropped a new classic sci-fi episode on Ko-fi.
That's right.
We did our Thing review. You guys can thank the three geeky dads for that one. They inspired us to go take a look at The Thing,
John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we have that. So yeah, go give us a few shekels on Ko-fi and go watch it.
Right. Yeah, just $3 opens up everything to you.
That's right.
Even if you just do a month, that's awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody. We appreciate you. We appreciate the opportunity just to hang out with everybody tonight. And with that, Mike, I'll let you close us out, my friend.
All right. With that said, as always, over and out. And K2SO was not in this episode. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
May the force be with you.